Okay, welcome back to 1d8+1, the Leonal Orbs. My name is Chad Brown, and what I'm going to discuss today is how to develop a rank 11 Blazefire for Ash before creature collections and just simply arm with the items that you have and the B&W outfitters. Now, in particular, to help Lightning, what you want to get done is to go into the medic and raise the commando. No, go into medic and raise up to accessory, and then from there go into commando and work out the rest of her physical abilities. Lightning has a magic side to her that works with lightning, and it's kind of like Anakin with the Force. If you've never played Knights of the Old Republic or Knights of the Old Republic 2 or any of the other video games and played on the dark side, then that lightning storm or Jolie's lightning storm, a capability along with the lightsaber, or the ability to be Dooku with the lightning and also have a lightsaber, is probably a concept that could be invested on for lightning. She's really good at Throw Ravager and doing both. But in the beginning of the game, I just don't think there's as much reward to get her magic over 200 and make an impact. There's the accessory right there, and when that happens, she's got string plus 4, HP 35, HP 30, accessory, and magic 5 type thing in medic, and it really didn't help her boost her magic and that capability. Now Ravager is a better class for her, and it's where her lightning strike shows up, but her butterfly knife Gunblade is helped by commando and its physical capability. Its physical capability to move early on in that sense will definitely have a greater playability if you consider melee first rather than trying to throw magic in there and try to overcome the lack of magic or lack of pushability of magic through your Christian gem to try to play a Ravager lightning character. Now later on, there might be way more bonuses to do so, especially with some electronic equipment out there, and she's like shorting them out with her lightning attacks, but I just don't think it's as strong in the beginning. It's probably better to switch to melee and then try to take them on through physical force. And right here, after that steam cleaning robot, this is the point where you can use the Omni Kit at the first saving point, and then proceed on from there to actually start your upgrade with the Omni Kit. Because of the items that I have here, I am basically not going to try to keep a balanced program of all the people. If I did, I don't think with 2 extra characters pulling on the resources in that sense, I would have made a rank 11 weapon or other accessories for her. And really important with that second accessory type thing, what I'm going to do here, starting with the string 15, magic 15, Blazefire, along with the Christian gem points, is that I'm going to raise the, upgrade the Blazefire and upgrade her power wristband, and also upgrade her silver bangle. The bangle is going to do extra hit points, the wristband is going to add on extra strength, and the Blazefire is going to do more. It's going to be a rank 11 component item and then be a level 17 weapon, and there's separate type thing for its components, and also it's a level capability to provide it. At first with the components, you got to put all the components on it and then start driving its experience up so that the weapon is no longer waiting for item advancement but its own advancement, so to speak, along with yourself. So it was kind of a complicated way of explaining it, but right now I'm in tier of frustration, and the multiplier thing, which is not shown here in the video game, there's a level improvement And there's also an experience bonus ×2, which is really important because before you start laying on something that does a lot more experience, like 100 experience or something like that in that regard, what you want to do is you want to raise this multiplier. If I don't raise my multiplier and I put in one item with 100 experience, then I just get 100. But if I raise the multiplier first for that same one item, I would get 300 experience per item that I use of the 100, each one. So if I had 3 of them, the person who didn't raise the multiplier first in that sense had 300 total experience, where the second person who did raise it to ×3 and still maintained its multiplier at ×3 doing that had 900 experience for the same 3 items. And so that's the key. And they don't put the multiplier in there. They put the experience, but they don't let you know about the multiplier in a great regards type thing. So you have to actually, the strategy guide is of a help type thing, because there's a list that actually has the multiplier, and there's also a list that has the experience chart. I think the multiplier goes up to 500 experience type thing. You need about 500 points to raise the multiplier up to a ×3. So if you had 10 Tears of Frustration, they were worth 14 multiplier points without experience points, then that would be 140 multiplier points, and that wouldn't raise you to the 500 points or 501 multiplier points that you need to be at ×3. You would still be 361 multiplier points short from a ×3 ×3 multiplier, and from there to raise the experience on it. And it sounds confusing, and it really isn't, but the complexity that they left it in there without telling people that it's a 2-tier system of leveling was not something that was a grand idea. Because in your first leveling, you're leveling in experience, and your second leveling, you're doing it by multiplier, so that you can get more experience type thing. And they didn't say that, and there's no chart in the 500 type thing, or keeping track of the 500. And they keep track of the experience on the left side there, and I can get the one update type thing saying that I've got an increase in multiplier, but once that multiplier comes, when I start putting on an experience type thing, I have no idea if I'm at 501 or if I'm at 367 type thing, or if I'm at 249 multiplier points. I have no idea. I just know now it says ×2 multiplier or ×1.75 when I come down, and I can kind of guesstimate that. But if you didn't have the strategy guide or the chart type thing, you might spend 700 or 800 on some type of multiplier type thing when you only need it to go up 300, and then waste material to get back up to ×3 multiplier. And then from wasted material, couldn't switch back over when the next there's another ×3 bonus type thing there, about that occurring right then and there. And wouldn't be ready for the next 3 multiplier. There's the Blazefire Saber 3 is now experiencing 200% experience bonus on top of what it was doing. So you want to be careful of all these types of things, because the first time I did it, I was kind of impressed with my ability to do it before creature collections and raise the weapon and the items, and then I started to realize that I basically wasted material to get to where I was. I the literally first time type thing when I did it, I totally forgot to raise her weapon, which is the first thing I did. You do the bangle, do the iron bangle or silver bangle, do the silver bangle and her power wristband after you do the weapon, because you're not sure how many type of items that you might acquire, and it's not a specific amount, it's not always guaranteed. And if you don't do that type of amount in that type of sense, what's going to happen is that you'll spend on leveling the components, the multiplier type thing with the bangle and your power wristband, and then not get the rank 11 Blazefire. And so really you want to get the Blazefire first, and although the accessories are nice, having the rank 11 weapon and also starting to get that weapon up is more important multiplier wise than it is in multiplying out a silver bangle in game terms type thing. and also advancement of that weapon, because that weapon isn't going to top out at like 33 strength. It's going to go to 625 strength later on in the game type thing. So its importance in leveling is so. Now I still wanted to have some bonus dedicated to hit points or more hit points type thing, and the leveling of that weapon does not do hit points, so it would seem somewhat important to skip the advancement or slow the advancement of the weapon to the 625 in exchange for an extra 180 hit points type thing. So you kind of have to decide on maybe I want a rank 11 weapon, Blazefire, now what rank? Level 12. Then go do the power wristband and accessory, and then come back and dump the rest of what I can into the weapon again in that sense. You kind of have to tinker with it a bit in that type of thing, but what you don't want to do is keep minimizing and try to balance down and say I'll be okay to reach that 625 magic later, and I won't be behind because of the balanced start that I forced upon myself early on just to maintain a 180 hit point start with the Silver Bangle. Because then, rather than have a rank 11 component weapon with a level 17 type thing, you maybe might end up with a rank 11 or rank 7 or rank 4 Blazefire as a level 3 Blazefire type thing. It won't get that advancement in quicker enough or fast enough along with the hit points that you need to get there in that type of sense to the weapon. Now then you're like, well, I forgo the weapon in that type of sense and I move on from the weapon, and then I only add on 5 hit points in that type of sense, although I've got a maxed out weapon, or I add on no hit points, and so that was better for me in that type of sense. So now I don't want the rank 11 weapon or the level 17 weapon. I want the rank 7 weapon or rank 4 weapon along with the level 5 weapon in that type of sense, and then a more maxed out power bangle, and that's more appropriate type thing. But then the strength that would have been associated for that at that point for the rank weapon might not be strength 66 or something like that, might be strength 22, just so that you could say that you brought a more balanced approach to that start in that point on disc 1 before creature collections. And then you have to balance out how much hit points or damage that you want to do, and then say like, well, balance or 66 and 33 or 60 and 40 or 70 and 30 or 80 and 20 and that type of thing. It is exciting and somewhat fragile, but it shouldn't cause the complexity that the strategy guide walked through, or that pretty much everything online walked through. I mean, as you just heard that part, that was crazy. You know, and so what I'm doing here is working through the multiplier. I've got my ×3 again. I've already looked through the weapon, and I'm doing it to the power wristband, and now I'm already starting to lose. I picked up about 3 or 4 empty slots of organic material before switching to mechanic material type thing for the experience, and I'm not going to have a lot more to answer with at this point in the game. It's hard to acquire that many type of things. I had a fair amount of luck. Sometimes with the 5 stars you'll get weapons or some type of item components type thing. On one part of the map type thing, getting a 3-star and 4-star without the 5-star type thing, which was a lesser performance, gave me more items and spoils in that sense, and I ended up with 42 wicked fangs and stuff like that. So it's kind of a luck of the draw type thing. I personally still believe that if you finish with more 5-star performances without being too conservative, then you will get more spoils or more chip fangs, wicked fangs, and things of that type of nature. And then you can apply them without having a creature collection to buy them to one person's path. Now Lightning not only has the commando type thing and a great chance to do a lot of damage with her Gladius or the Blazefire, and I would take the Blazefire because the Gladius, I think, kind of leans more towards magic, and in this type of sense, I don't think its job point is equivalent to raising that. I think it takes like 68,500 job points to level that, and 28,000 or 33,000 to level the Blazefire for a higher strength one and a less magic in that sense on the weapon. So you definitely probably want to reward yourself by taking the Blazefire. And once again, it's too early on for her to capitalize on that type of thing. Maybe she would have slightly gotten ahead to it, but slightly would have been like 22 magic or 47 strength or something like that in comparison type thing, and I don't think it's worth it. So you should really consider the Blazefire, but it's up to you. I mean, it's your tinkering in that type of sense. When I get into these types of things, when I worked on it, didn't find out that going by the other one, which would have taken more job points in that type of sense and more components that I had at the point that I was going to make 47 magic increase with it too, just like it did with the Gladius with the 47 strength. That's if it would have made as much strength and magic in balance with your Christensen path as you thought it was going to, because it's not a thing of equivalency, and it tries to tickle to the fact that you're going to be equivalent, but you're really not doing anything of equivalency in that sense. It's exciting, and it is something like, see, if I want to use like Sturdy Bone or something like that, I want to end up with 108 magic and 72 strength, had a more magic type thing, hit Ravager, did more lightning, taking on more electric component bosses and things of that type of nature, and dropped it faster than trying to dent it through melee. And I don't think those things are possible. I mean, it hints to the fact that it might be possible. Then you spend all those job points, you spend the components, and end up with only 27 magic increase and a 5 magic increase from Ravager. So it's not really something rewarded type thing. But because you didn't explore it, then it wasn't worth doing in that type of sense, or it wasn't of convincement, I should say, before deciding that it wasn't worth doing. And that's not the case in point there. Those are good things for talk through in that type of sense, but yet at the same time, there is a lot of variable creation to that, which is why the book was like, just play with it type thing, because your scripting of it might, in this type of sense, I tried to balance out the two items, and maybe you could attain a magic level type thing and try to make do with that in those magic mark 1s, and then try to take the Gladius and see what you got from it. Maybe gotten 88 magic or something like that, and been able to bring that through. Or instead of taking Silver Bangle type thing like I did there, try to leave a little balance in with hit points and the Power Wristband, saved up, bought 2 Power Wristbands, and then from that manner raised both of them to star value, put that on with the Blazefire, and then had a good enough luck to produce that in that sense. So I'm not exactly sure what that cost is going to be, and based off of what their hit points, not being based into Medic or Ravager or something like that, to kind of give her that plus 35, plus 30 hit point feel. Her hit points are going to be that great anyway. Her drop ratio might be great, but you never know when the system itself is going to go critical in that type of sense, or come up with a better damage reduction, and needing a little bit slighter scale type thing in a 60-40 sense for damage and hit point give-take relationship. Sometimes I feel that I do more progress being 90 and 10 instead of being 60 and 40 or near 50-50 type thing, and other times I feel like, had it not been for me being a little bit like with like the damage, but a little bit also with the hit points, and like not it being equivalent, but a little bit more damage, but in some hit points and being a little bit of a risk taker, that I would have made it in that type of sense. You know, I wouldn't have produced a 3, 4, 5-star program. I wouldn't have produced the results that I experienced type thing. But once again, it's still up to the user. It's still your power to do your own playability type thing. It wasn't for me, but that just depends on the preferences that you want to set. Now in this other one, I'm still working with the Power Wristband at the ×3 multiplier. Once you get to the ×3 multiplier, you want to look at increasing the max amount of experience to that level as soon as possible. And from there, once you do the experience type thing, with most of the time the mechanical items, you are going to negatively drop your multiplier points. So after you get done with your big boost type thing, if it's not the last boost that you want to do, which is kind of hard to do on the Blazefire because it's not going to get 28,000 or more job points in there type thing, it's most likely going to get like 4,200 or somewhere between 4,200 and 11,000 if I completely use all of that. Then in that type of sense, I won't have any other items to work with, other accessories, nor will my multiplier be ×3, because when I use that type of thing, instead of getting a plus 14 multiplier per item for the mechanic type thing, I'm really getting like a -11 -10, -14 multipliers effect, and it's taken my 501 back down to a 1.25 multiplier type thing. And I've got to go rebuild it up again, and I don't really have the organic components to do it over again. So you really need to consider that here. Like now in the power circle, I'm going to use some items, and then it's raising 3,276 with that times 3 multiplier on the power wristband. And it still didn't level it out type thing. It just made it a level 5 power wristband. So you really want to be careful. There's a star type thing on how you build that. And later on, I will post a website and talk through that, as well as show the graph in the multiplier in the strategy guide that points to the 501 type thing. Like I said, it took me about 3 times to do so. About the 3rd time was the charm. Is beforehand I didn't level my weapon right. In fact, once I got done with the multiplier, I was like, yay, I've got all the items. I got my wristband, I got my silver bangle, and my vulcanized experience and here, and my vulcanized experience with my silver bangle, my vulcanized experience with my power wristband, and then I did the times 3 multiplier on the sword and couldn't raise it above a level 5. So it was really couldn't even raise it probably as a level 2 because I already spent everything that I owned. So that wasn't great. And then I went and spent on the component for the sword, but now I was doing it beyond the multiplier effect, so I was using items about on double the ratio that I needed to for the multiplier. So instead of using a multiplier chart of 501, I was using an 801 to 1000 because I didn't know where the times 3 multiplier was going to come back into effect again. And that really messed up everything, and it prevented streamlining of resources or efficient use of resources to go get the job done. I was doing the job twice over type thing, and I didn't need to do that, and then was unable to proceed to go back and level up my 2 accessories, my wristband and my silver bangle, to really make a difference and experience that with the Blazefire in tandem type thing, or concurrently, or while they were coinciding. So basically I was like looking at it and was thinking that I really had to live a path of one and not the other, and that wasn't the case. If you streamline out that multiplier chart, you can actually do all 3. And made some tough choices, which you're going to see later, with some items that are really cool. The black belt, the spark plug, which is like electricity, the embers off of fire type thing. There's another star type thing. That's as far as I can level it at that point for right now in the game, providing 180 hit points. Still working through save here. Now from there, even though you don't want to get rid of these items because they're cool, in the home stretch type thing of leveling your item, try to find something that has a decent experience and a quick a cheap cost so that you can get more and more of it against the times 3 multiplier. So from there, I sold the black belt, the ember, the spark plug for $22.50 a piece, and then was able to go in and buy the paraffin oil type thing, and I think the paraffin oil was $2.60 a piece. And with all the items that I sold in that way, I had 7,200 gil. And then was able to take 7,200 gil divided by 260 per paraffin oil, and I think I ended up with 27 paraffin oil, so I had like 6 on there or something like that too. Now that was fairly gross. I guess 10 of them at times 260 would be 2,600 paraffin oils, and then 20 of them would be 5,200, and no markup or some DM experience for that thing there, with 20% red thing in Shawshank Redemption. So, which is cool, but for them to get their profit type thing, because they're hooking you up, and you want to stay with their distribution and keep arming that or rewarding that type of thing by making sure they get the most purchases through their establishment. But at the same time, there's no markup on it, and you're just paying straight up on it. There's my paraffin oils, and they're 320 type thing. $22 flask of paraffin oil. Alright, another save file. That was interesting. In fact, I'm using the paraffin oil after I took care of all that, because that busted me down. And I'm going back to my level 3 Blazefire right now. Now I went from level 3 to level 8. Now it's a 35 string, 35 magic Blazefire saber gunblade as a butterfly knife. Pretty cool replicas online type thing too. You could actually order it. I'm not sure if it's on eBay, but they used to have the sword, which actually transformed with 70 parts in it, available for purchase. And you could flip around her butterfly knife, gunblade type thing, and then put it away like she does. Excuse me. So a lot of consideration to it. And you see there, it still says like ×2 or ×3 multiplier, 350 out of 585. There's a website that I have that does the list out per level for the experience and how long it'll take to get to star. And there's, of course, the strategy guide with this multiplier. Excuse me again. I've had kind of a long step into this to try to understand it. Let's see here. Got some time while I'm considering there in video of what was going on. I can probably read a little bit here. Let's see. Even when a weapon or accessory reaches maximum level star, it may be possible to upgrade it further through the use of a specific transformational catalyst. These are the rare and expensive components whose sole purpose is to transform one item of equipment into a superior one. Each piece of the equipment thus has a fixed development path to its fullest potential. Okay. Don't be surprised by the fact that the same component may offer different experience depending on the target equipment. The higher the rank of the item, the lower the experience gained from the component. Ranks run from 1 to 11, lowest to highest. The experience values in guide are based on rank 6 items average. Before you decide to upgrade a weapon, do have a look at this rank. 2 weapons with a maximum level of 61, but with different ranks will require very different total amounts of experience. As a general rule of thumb, upgrading an initial weapon from level 1 to level star requires approximately 50,000 experience. Upgrading an intermediate weapon from level 1 to level star requires approximately 450,000 experience. Upgrading an ultimate weapon from level 1 to level star requires approximately 1,500,000 experience. Alternatively, trial and error with a save game can give an equally good answer. If you want to make precise calculations, it might help to note that every item starts with a base experience requirement to take it to level 2, and then increases the requirement by the same amount per level. For example, a Silver Bangle needs 200 experience to level up at first, then 256 experience, then 312 experience, rising by 56 experience per level. Same applies to every item, though each has its own base and increment value. Game keeps track of the running total in the background, remembering the multiplier value for each item you upgrade. The item's experience points changes whenever the hidden total crosses certain thresholds. And 0 to 50 multiplier value is times 1 experience, 51 to 100 is times 1.25, 101 to 200 is times 1.5, 201 to 250 is times 1.75, and 251 to 500 is times 2, and 500 plus is times 3. Okay, and the best way to upgrade equipment, as we've been showing, therefore rests in first using organic components to build the experience bonus to its maximum level times 3 at 200% gain, and then spinning into large quantity of a single mechanical component type in one go. This will reset the experience bonus but triple the experience value gained from all of the mechanical components. So now I'm putting the finishing touches. Oh, and when you're raising an accessory or a weapon, make sure the plus is on their picture up at the top type thing in the center, so that you're not raising a silver bangle or iron bangle that you're not placing on the characters that you're traveling with. So later on, accessories and items do not pass on from one group to the other. And so if you had the Sage Ring on, or Ragnarok in one group, then you're minus the Sage Ring and Ragnarok in your second group. And there she is with 151 strength now and 76 magic, but that's with the Gladius level 1. There's the Power Wristband star and Silver Bangle star. Now I'm going to raise to 201 strength and 138 magic. And her physical wall went up to 10%. And because of that bangle and the second accessory from the medic, she's also got 755 hit points. And that's it. Thanks for listening to 1d8+1. My name is Chad Brown, and just check back at any time for 1d8+1, the Leonal Orbs, on Facebook, or I've got a Facebook account on YouTube, and I hope to see you out there with more information on Final Fantasy or other game applications. Thanks for listening, and have a great
exactly what you're up against?
Target the target.
You like to keep it simple, don't you? I stick to my goal.